Alright, so welcome on guys. You don't know it's your boy Kashif. Tonight we'll be talking about introduction to psychology. I'll be doing my student journal wiki. Of course I'll be talking, but this wiki is this journal is about what I've learned in the course Introduction to Psychology for the past 3 months that I've been doing the course. And to be honest, guys, I have learned a lot. I start. I've learned a lot to the point where I start to psychoanalyze persons using the various psychological terms. All right. So to start off, I learned about the various psychological perspective, the behavioral perspective, how persons behave based on their environment, all of them something there, as well as the socio-economic perspective, how based on your environment in which you live in, because as them say, a product of the inner city. For example, you live in a the ghetto, you expect to behave a certain way, but no, it's not so for some persons. But of course, we are analyzed, or you're analyzed based on where you live. So I learned that, and all of them something there. Fine. All right. We go down now. We learn. I learned. What may I say? We learn like everybody in the class learned this. But anyways, I learned about memory, the different types of memory, like the short-term memory, long-term memory, and all of that. Of course, may I use up my long-term memory now. Miss yes, miss me I use up my long-term memory now. If I say all right, then me learn all of that. Me learn about perspective. Me learn about the id, ego, and super ego. In terms of either way you tap into your unconscious, your super ego, all of them something there. You either tap into your unconscious for really figure out certain things or analyze certain things. Your super ego now have to do with your whole perspective in terms of how you think, all of that, and environment. Yeah. Memory now, short-term memory, short-term memory, the things where I do. Like say you want this and then you forgot. Or probably you use up in a short space of time where you want it for. So it's a memory that is not stored permanently into your memory, or into your memory, or into your brain. So yeah, that's what basically like short-term memory is. So you have three type of memory. You have short-term. Yeah, you have short-term memory, you have the other memory there, and you have the long-term memory. Yeah. Um, we talked about, I learned about cognition in terms of how persons think, how persons analyze certain information. We talked about, oh, what was interesting to guys was the experiments that we talked about. Especially one of them was stood out, was the Stanford prison experiment in terms of persons based on the environment in which you're placed in, then you're going to adapt. Basically, that's what the experiment was about. Our persons, yeah, it was about conformity. Yes, conformity. So how persons conform based on them environment, where them live, all of them situation, all of that. And for the Stanford prison experiment, they were placed in a prison, yeah, as the name suggests, they're placed in a prison to see how persons will conform to the prison life, so to speak. So, and we realize that a lot of persons, even the persons who are innocent, who never been to prison, persons who weren't exposed to it until they decided for guards and all of them purposes, they decided to conform to that. I learned conform to the prison life in terms of adapt to the whole setting. I learned about same conformity and obedience. Of course, conformity is based on you don't have no choice. It's basically a situation in which you're placed in which you just basically have to go with the flow. While obedience is of course by choice. You choose to obey whatever laws or situation there is. You may learn that. We talked about um the experiment we deal with. We talk about, I learned rather, an experiment that dealt with spoke about a girl where based on how she was treated, she wasn't learning or able to think and all of that. And then once she was moved out of the environment in which she was in, she started to pick up, she started to learn, she started to grasp the various concepts and all of that. But so it goes to show that based on your environment can be an hindrance to your learning capabilities. So yeah, me learn that. I'm not telling them I learned that. Um yeah, so me learned that in yeah the experiment was Genie. Talk about Genie, the some development of language in Genie. So Genie was basically we call one potato. One potato if you say alright then she never really cognizant of certain things, she never know if to think, all of that. That was based on the abuse she was enduring based on whatever she was going through in her life. The environment in which she was in, as I stated before, that caused a lot of hindrance to her learning and development. Um so she was not able to develop and learn certain things, certain skills based on cognition, right? So when she was please taken out of the environment she was in, she started to develop and all of that. Oh yes. So we learn the different types of memory now. Remember now, Miss me going back in my long term memory. Remember now is sensory memory, short term memory, sensory or short term memory, and long-term memory. Sensory, short-term memory, and long-term memory. So yeah, remember now. See? All right. Make we talk about what I want to go know what we talk about. Yeah, four means are pheromones are yeah. Me know say pheromones are the language where you talk about, and morphemes are. Me know morphemes I say pronounce Holande. Holande. Um, pheromones and morphemes. Yeah. Yeah. So it's phenomes. Yeah. Phonemes, sorry, and morphemes. So phonemes is basically the sounds, yeah, the sounds that make up language, and morphemes are basically the units of meaning in language. Basically meaning that, all right, so if your own language is pronounced, that's morpheme, and the various units. So say whether it be adjective, verb, all of them something, the consonants, all of that. So I learned that. That have a lot to do with it. I learn about the parts of the brain and all that. I did do this in a biology in a high school. I never really remember. But now it jog back to my long-term memory. Um, so we learn about the part of the brain, the frontal lobe, the parietal lobe, the lobes that are responsible for thinking, how you think, your oblongata. We learn about the one that process information. Talk about process information. The one responsible for speech, the one responsible for all body movement that have that connected to your spinal cord and all of that. Um, right. So we talk about how process information, perception, sensory, all of that. We even looked at a case where this young man was, and I don't know if his name was Neil Harbinson or something of the sort, where he was blind. He wasn't able to process information the regular way how we would have processed it. He processed information based on colors. No, a blind. Yeah, I think a blind. Yes. Yes, he was blind. Say process information based on colors and I think sound. So how we perceive some things or some colors, yeah, through sound, we perceive colors, how some colors would look through sound. So that was a very interesting case. When I watched the YouTube video, I was like, no, sir, them in a mad, I'm in a abnormal, me perfectly normal. And here I was thinking about me, no normal, you understand? But yeah, so that was very interesting for me. Another thing we talked about, yeah, as I was saying about the brain, parts of the brain, we looked at parts of the ear, the inner ear, the outer ear, the ossicles, ossicles are the three small bones where, the eardrum, auditory nerve, how sound pass from one point to the ears, amplifiers, and go through the pass the ossicles through the eardrum and then to the auditory nerve, so it can be processed by the brain. So it can be processed by the brain and then transmitted back to the brain, so that information or where you hear is not gibberish or foolishness, but it's actually sounds and words that actually make sense. And I learned that. Learn about cognition, as we said before, in terms of how you process information, perception. Perception have to do with how you process information. So if you process information good, I think we did look for the inner perception. We did look on illusion, in terms of when we did look at one picture, we talked about Marilyn Monroe and Isaac Newton, how quickly, based on different perspective or person's perspective or point of view, that information or images can be different, and that was evident in that perspection scenario, because I was seeing Isaac Newton. Isaac Newton, same name that you had a man there. And some persons were saying they were seeing Marilyn Monroe based on the angle, based on as we say, perception. So yeah, that's how that. Moving on. Hey, a whole heap of things to learn in psychology. Moving on, we learn about yeah, as me that say, we learn about intelligence. Yeah, in terms of, you have different areas, you have different types of intelligence, you have emotional intelligence, you have social intelligence. Emotional intelligence basically talk about how persons you're able to understand based on how some persons are how them look. You're able to read their emotions based on things that they say, how they go about things. You're able to read into that their social emotion as well, how them behave, based on their behavior, able to tell rather, or distinguish, to say, all right, then it's a person you're going to look like them mad if they're mad. This a person you're sound look intelligent, all of that. We learn about I learned, sorry, but the prefrontal cortex, the parental cortex, and the hippocampus, how they are particularly um, entwined or implicated in the cognitive process, in terms of thinking or related, or information is related, intelligence, have to do with your problem solving skills, memory, executive functions, all of them something there. We talked about, or we learned about what intelligence, of course, is, your ability to not your ability or capability to acquire or process or recall information. So yeah, that's why them say, bright picnic, yeah, yeah, intelligent, but intelligence I mean say it's only limited to bookwork, but you have emotional intelligence, social intelligence, all of that. I remember at one point in time in a class we'd have a conversation about intelligence, and we did a scenario, a breakout session, um, where we said that I'm not sure if it was Tafani who said it, and he was talking about your ability to understand or transfer information is a form of intelligence as well, and that resonated with me in terms of it is true, because I know everybody way the quote unquote bright picnic them not necessarily mean you're intelligent. It's just that your long term memory basically would be greater than someone's than others. So you're able to recall information, but that doesn't mean you're emotionally or socially intelligent. Yeah. So yeah, we dark and full like a midnight. Yeah, it happens sometimes. So we know this. um yeah, next thing we learn is about. All right, so I learned about emotions. That's the next thing. Emotions, the types of emotion, fear, anger, contempt, sadness, all of that. How to read the different emotions externally. So your emotions give you away based on your facial expression, how you sound, your body language, all of that. How you look, how your facial expression, your body language, um, your sound, how you speak, as well as your overall demeanor, based on, so we can tell you. I can tell, I learned how you can tell based on to identify various emotions based on all of these factors or all of these signs, basically. Um, we talked about, I learned about personality. Different personality, you have different personality disorders. Yeah, that was very interesting for me. I remember them, I remember personality disorders them, but you have various personality disorders. And oh yeah, you have the id, ego, and super ego. Id, you probably say, I want this. That's your personality. The super ego, you can, yes, you can't, whatever, afford that. And then, of course, your ego, we say, we probably can, work something out, or, yeah, do something if we ensure it, so we actually get it. We talked about, we learned about abnormal behavior there, that I feel like, in mad people, them persons who are schizophrenic, the schizoaffective disorders, all of them look at, yeah, disorder there, them look at things the way, that is not really those behaviors that are not what we call quote unquote normal behavior for persons, how they behave, how they think, all of that. So it's not of a regular person, quote unquote per se. So yeah. Talked about, oh yes, we talked about attitudes and belief. We talked about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and how if your self actualization first before you reach the CFA. Talk about the emotional, the different needs that you need are human needs, different needs that a human need in order for them to reach their, quote unquote, full potential. We talked about the various theories in psychology. Well, I learned about that. Learned about organizational psychology in terms of how an organization would function in terms of, you have the, I think, the job enrichment part of it, the job enrichment, how we go again, job enrichment, job. Yeah, we talked about job enrichment, Herzberg theory, Everything two-factor theory. We talked about theory X, theory Y. We talked about the expectancy theory. So, based on your work, you expect certain things, or, you have to get certain things based on your work. We talked about that. We talked about, what that theory the name again? Oh, we talked about, let's hear the name. Like, oh, yeah, we talked about the goal setting theory, where, if you set certain goals to accomplish, then yeah, you're more likely to work towards those goals in order for you to accomplish them. Uh, whole heap of things we learn in psychology, whole heap of things. And these are just a few of the things that I've learned. And I just wanted to say that this course really broadened my way of thinking, my how I go about doing certain things in terms of, I'm more emotionally intelligent as well as socially intelligent, because you have to, you must be able to read basically your surrounding, read the room, as they would say, when you step into certain places, so you're able to understand, if there's tension, you can pick it up. Um, Also, how memory works. I learned a lot about that, how memory works, or learning, cognition, perspective, sensory, behavioral psychology, psychological perspective, the behavioral perspective, socioeconomic perspective, all of that analytical perspective. I learned a lot about that. To be honest, this course really, I want now me I consider if me fi do major in a business or me fi major in a psychology because it was really informative. It was really thought provoking. I'm not gonna tell a lie. Open up your way of thinking, broaden your horizon, strengthen your resolve to be a person of excellence. All of that. The class was lit. Don't know Miss Big Up Yourself. Big Up Yourself, Miss Graham. Yeah, I done. Now to go tell a lie. You make me learn a lot. Your class informative. Psychology, me think say me I go sleep to death, but me never sleep to death. Me did do that to my other class, but I gotta tell her which class, cause me know what you gonna say. We are talking lecturer them, as we always say. But to be honest, this class was fun, and me just want make my teacher proud, make you proud, Miss Graham. If you know some pass a course, we do an A. Nothing less than an A, as you say. So we can, probably can see you in our negative class in a future here. But to be honest, this is where I bid you guys farewell until later. But it was really, really an interesting class. And if I'd be lying if I say that I did not learn anything. Learn only person. You see, my NBA get bigger because I want me learning at that class. Yeah, but big up yourself, miss, and big up that class. Yeah. Have a good day, guys, and see you on that examination body.